On this week's show, we take you inside Winegard for a behind-the-scenes look at why this company has been the leader in television reception and connectivity technology for over 69 years. Later, we'll join Jeff Johnston as he takes us to a vintage trailer resort everyone can enjoy, even if you don't own a vintage trailer. Then later, we join Mark and Dawn Polk from RV Education 101 and see what they have in store for us this week. These stories and our supersized Winegard dish contest. Rollin on TV is sponsored by Carefree of Colorado, celebrating over 45 years of RV awning innovation. Closed captioning, where available, is sponsored by Forest River. Begin the journey. Even though RVers will tell you we love RVing because it allows us to get out, get away from it all, and enjoy a simpler lifestyle, they still want to stay connected and in touch no matter where they are. And if you think we're kidding, go and check out any new RV and see how many you find that aren't wired up for television and Wi-Fi. Why today, most RVs come with at least one flat-screen TV, and in most cases, 2 or 3. You'll find TVs in the living rooms, bedrooms, and even outside. And if you don't see a TV, don't think it's not there. You just have to look for it. The best way to enjoy TV in your RV is with satellite reception, using a fixed or portable satellite antenna. There are numerous companies that sell satellite antennas, but only one company engineers and builds its own components and systems in-house here in the USA. And they began building TV antennas back in 1953. Today, we visit Winegard and sit down with company president and COO Grant Whipple to learn all about the company and its products, past, present, and future.
Winegard started in 1953 by John Winegard, and basically he wanted to receive television signals when that was the only way to communicate, the only medium, from Chicago. So he developed one of the first multi-channel TV antennas, pointed it at Chicago, received the broadcast from there. And that was sort of the beginning because neighbors, friends heard about it, that they were able to receive television from that far away, and the rest was sort of history. Obviously, he repeated that and made other antenna systems for other people in Burlington, and that's how it all started.
And in case you're wondering, the company still manufactures those roof antennas today.
Now, from there, of course, the next real step was C-band satellite. So if you remember the really large 8 to 12 foot dishes that rural America was putting in their backyards, that was Winegard. And so we moved from TV reception to satellite TV reception. From there, we moved on to, as the technologies improved, to much smaller DBS satellite dishes, which is today's modern day Dish Network, DirecTV, those types of services that are allowed. And of course, that really worked well for mobile applications also, because the antenna size got so much smaller. And of course, as we continue to progress, we've moved on into other wireless technologies such as Wi-Fi, 4G LTE, and other wireless broadband communications as we sit now.
What impressed us the most is that Winegard produces all its components in-house, from small metal brackets to the satellite dishes. And where most companies buy their circuit boards, usually from overseas, Winegard produces all its own boards right here in Burlington, Iowa, as Grant explains.
Depending on the circuit board, it of course goes through, more complex circuit boards will go through various stages of tests throughout the process. And what we're checking for is all the data and information that's moved throughout the board to make let's take a satellite system that moves around and automatically locks onto the correct satellite. We want to make sure that that's functioning correctly before we even place it into the product itself. So as that's populated and built, we test it at various stages to make sure that all connections are there, all the RF components are in the right place, and then it moves on throughout the assembly process.
Speaking of testing, not only does every circuit board get tested, but every satellite antenna gets operationally tested right on the assembly line prior to being boxed and shipped. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, so let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take a tour through this sprawling Winegard facility. Rollin on TV is kicking off a supersized Winegard dish entertainment and connectivity contest starting April 21st. You can win a complete Winegard dish playmaker package including a $500 dish gift card and a Winegard Connect T 2.0 4G hotspot and Wi-Fi extender including installation. To enter, visit our website at rollinontv.com and click on the Winegard dish contest link, where you'll find all the information and entry form. It's that simple. So, what are you waiting for? Aquachem toss-ins. So fast and easy to use, it could seem like a game. Someone once said, the camping doesn't really start until the RV awning comes out. Whoever said that really knew what they were talking about. Carefree of Colorado, celebrating 45 years of RV awning innovation. For more information, visit our website at carefreeofcolorado.com. Welcome back. Of course, we're here mainly to see what goes into building RV satellite antennas. But can you guess how many different satellite antenna systems Winegard actually builds?
And of course, we not only make satellite antennas for the RV industry, but we also make them for oil and gas exploration, remote communities that just can't receive, any type of TV or internet access. So we even make them for remote residences. So all in all, I'd say, we're well over 20, 30 plus on different types of satellite antennas in general. And that's both for TV and for internet type of services.
It doesn't matter what size dish. They all start from a roll of new steel, then large presses cut and stamp out tens of thousands of dishes each week. Also in the same department, other presses are stamping out and shaping smaller parts like brackets and arms. By the way, all those small pieces of metal scraps you see coming off the presses get recycled and could possibly come right back here as a new roll of steel. The dishes next go to be chemically cleaned and into the paint booth where they get an electrostatic paint finish. Then they go into the oven for drying. Once out of the oven, the dishes are silkscreened with appropriate logos. Once stamped and shaped, all the smaller brackets and components go to a different area where they are submerged in a chemical cleaner, then get a chemical weather protective coating. Later, all these components will come together in their respective assembly areas. We've seen how metal pieces are made, but Winegard also makes its plastic components right here in-house. And the nice thing is, all these plastic components are made from recycled plastic that gets formed into pellets, melted down, and made into satellite domes and other parts. Yes, Winegard is very eco-conscious. As you travel through the plant, you can see one department where they're assembling the large motorized traveler antenna units. And across the aisle is where the portable Playmaker dish units are being built. In another area, you'll find a new Connect T 2.0 4G hotspot and Wi-Fi extender being assembled and tested. Now, that's an interesting product we'll cover on a different show. No matter where you travel in this factory, there's always something interesting that catches your eye, like these huge power satellite dishes being tested. Remember Grant mentioning that they also built large TV satellite and communication systems for offshore oil platforms and rural communities? Well, that's these big beauties going through their testing stages. You can't help but be fascinated in watching them operate. When you're the leader in satellite and connectivity development and manufacturing, it's not surprising that everywhere you look, there's some sort of testing going on. From special equipment to test environmental and extreme weather conditions, to good old-fashioned water testing. Rest assured that when you take a Winegard antenna out of the box, it's going to work and work correctly. By the way, when we said we would take you behind the scenes, so to say, inside Winegard, we weren't kidding. This is something not everyone gets to see, and no, this is not a Star Wars set, but a one-of-a-kind spherical near-field range test chamber. Actually, they have two of them, a large one and a small one, that can test and stimulate virtually any satellite or communication signal reception. As we mentioned at the beginning of this story, Winegard believes in doing virtually everything in-house, and that philosophy includes the customer service department, as Randy explains.
We actually have over 20 technicians and customer service agents who sit right here in Burlington, so they understand the assembly and the factory itself and everything that's going into that. They're all trained before they start on all of our wide array of products, and that close vicinity right here, as opposed to outsourcing the customer service to somewhere else in the country or even outside of the country, we think is also much more efficient and gives the customer a much better experience, because the people understand the product here and they know what they're talking about, as opposed to having to talk to somebody outside our company walls, only to have to wait to get an answer on what's going on, etc. So we really like to give as much customer service as possible to make that ownership experience a good one.
To learn more about Winegard and watch Grant's complete interview, including what's coming up in the future, visit our website at rollinontv.com. At Forest River, we not only build great RVs, we build award-winning RVs. Check out our complete product line at forestriverinc.com. Forest River. Begin the journey. At Norcoal, we realize that some of your favorite RV destinations are off the grid. And Norcoal refrigerators are uniquely designed with that RV experience in mind. We call it Freedom Unplugged. To learn more about our Norcoal RV refrigerator line or to find a dealer near you, visit our website at norcoal.com.
Every campground has a personality all its own. Here at the historic Sou'wester Lodge, you have an opportunity to take part in a camping experience that's a little different than the ordinary.
We're at the Sou'wester Lodge. We're a historic lodge and vintage travel trailer resort. We have suites in our lodge, cabins, and a fleet of about a dozen vintage travel trailers. They're all from the 50s. They're very cute. Our collection of vintage travel trailers is an eclectic mix of all different kinds. There were many different mom and pop operations that tried their hand at making trailers in the 50s, and the ones that have survived the best often end up being aluminum framed, and the Spartans of those have been really stellar for us. They were built by an aircraft company, and so they use super high quality aluminum. They're really well built. They were the top of their line luxury models in their time, so they were built with all interior birch, a lot of brass, or a little bit of brass, but a lot of aluminum. Really high quality design, very functional. Apparently they tow like a dream. These don't move very often though. Besides our fleet of vintage trailers that we have here, we also have an RV park where people are welcome to bring vintage or non-vintage trailers. We have 20 sites, they're 30 amp hookups, each with electricity and water and sewage as well. And then we also have tent camping, and we have a small glamping campground for glamour camping. And that's something that we're gonna be developing more over the next couple years. We are in process of building a small spa in what we're going to call our spa garden. It's an outdoor area that has a sauna, it's going to have a bathtub, and it's just going to be a really relaxing place for people who are visiting us to enjoy. And it's also going to make our winters even more cozy and great place to visit in the winter as well.
During our time here at the resort, we stayed in this beautiful old Spartan Manor trailer. We'll go inside and show you what it's like.
We walked in and we noticed that the living room has a nice comfortable sofa and a lot of windows and screens and a lot of shades for privacy. And the woodwork is all redone and a lot of headroom. And for your entertainment, we found a great selection of LPs. So music, anyone? The kitchen is well stocked and clean. It has original appliances, all the pots and pans, toasties you need, nice dishes, even a French press. We love the bedroom, wonderful paneling, down comforters and pillows. We had a great night's sleep, and it was a wonderful time staying in the Spartan.
A stop in the lodge gift shop is a fun part of a visit to the resort. Local fare is a specialty here. Sometimes just hanging out by the fire is the best part of a camping adventure, either in one of today's RVs or one from RV history. At the Sou'wester Lodge, it's your choice. Camp in your own rig or rent a classic trailer and enjoy a taste of RVing in days gone by. For more information about the historic Sou'wester Lodge and Campground, log on to our website at rollinontv.com.
Wow, am I glad I used Aquachem. Maybe chili wasn't the best idea.
Aquachem, the most powerful odor control available and the #1 seller for over 50 years.
Hi, and welcome back to another segment of RV 101, Understanding Your RV. I'm Mark Polk, and I'll be your host today. Today's topic is RV roof vents and how to install a high-speed ventilation fan on your RV. When you purchase an RV, it will typically come equipped with standard roof vents in some of the roof openings. In the bathroom, the roof vent typically has a small built-in 12-volt fan for ventilation. A really nice upgrade you can do on your RV is to replace the existing roof vent with a high-powered ventilation fan. This particular fan by Max Air offers intake and exhaust functions, and it is operated manually. We are going to replace an older unit that no longer works on our RV to demonstrate the installation process. Let's go up on the roof and get started. Caution, Be extremely careful when working on the roof of an RV. A fall can result in serious injury or worse. Follow the installation instructions that come with the fan you are installing. The first step is to remove the existing roof vent. You want to carefully remove all of the old roof sealant. If the roof has a rubber roofing material, be careful not to tear the material when removing the old sealant. I use a plastic scraper to help get the old sealant off. With the old sealant removed, you can remove the screws securing the vent to the roof. Next, remove the old vent and clean the area around the vent opening. You can place the new vent in the roof opening and trace around it using a pencil to make sure the area around the vent that will be sealed is clean and free of debris and old sealant. I use some denatured alcohol on a clean cloth to clean the roof surface. Use this opportunity to examine the framing and roofing material around the opening. What you are looking for is anywhere water intrusion may have started or where the potential for leaks might exist. Inspect the opening and surrounding area, and if you do find an area that needs work, make the necessary repairs before installing the new vent. If everything checks out, properly apply a continuous strip of good quality butyl tape on the bottom flange of the roof vent. Make sure the butyl tape covers the screw holes to get a good seal when you install the new vent. With this particular vent, the metal clips on the receiving flange must face the sides of the vehicle, not the front and rear. Secure the vent using the screws provided and tighten the screws until you see some butyl tape start to squeeze out around the edges, but do not over tighten. Remove any excess butyl tape from around the vent flange. It's extremely important that you use the proper sealant on the top and around the edge of the vent flange. Consult your owner's manual for the proper sealant to use. Cover each of the screw heads with a daub of sealant and run a bead around the perimeter of the vent flange for a good long-lasting seal. For our installation, we need a 12-volt DC power source for the ventilation fan. The existing wiring used for the old fan will work perfect. Turn off any 12-volt disconnect switches or disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery prior to making electrical connections. The max fan must be open prior to making the wiring connections. With the max fan open and the louvers facing the rear of the vehicle, lower the fan onto the roof receiving flange. Make sure the wires slide to the interior and don't get tangled or caught on anything. Make sure the fan is seated and fastened to the flange using the 4 3/4-inch stainless steel screws. Only use the screws provided. We are finished on the roof. Follow the fan installation instructions for making proper and safe electrical connections. Our fan uses a black wire for the 12-volt positive supply and white for negative. At this point, you can turn the 12-volt power on or reconnect the battery and test the operation of the new fan. On a new installation, you need to cut the garnish trim ring to fit the ceiling thickness. I'm using the old trim ring. Place any excess wiring to the inside of the roof opening and fasten the trim ring in place. Installing a new high-powered roof vent on your RV is not that difficult, and the benefits are well worth the work. If you don't feel comfortable working on the RV roof or installing components on the roof, have the work done by an authorized RV repair facility. For more information about using and maintaining your RV, visit www.rvonlinetraining.com. Happy camping.
We hope you enjoyed this week's show, and for more information on anything you saw on the show, along with additional videos, stories, and RV news, visit our website at rollinontv.com. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. As usual, this has been another fun production.